Yeah.
I just be quiet.
Yeah, yeah, you can ask questions if you have any questions as I go, but
I
I mean
haven't
some
done this before, so I don't really know. I think I was brought to you because I need to do it. So um here I am.
thanks.
Your background is beautiful.
Thanks. I see there's a little boy that comes to me as Tennessee right away. Thomas, Tom. I see the mother, your older brother.
Yeah.
I also see you at the same time at your energy sphere, and it looks like, the shiny kind of Christmas decoration, like a little ball blown out of glass.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it in this kind of that color that kind of changes colors also depending on the light. I see it in purple now, purplish. And I feel like you're really disconnected from your mother in that life, and you feel lonely, but you have this dog, Marta.
Marta?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
But you
love my
can't,
dog.
yeah, you call her like Mar, something like this. Um, and she's just running, running through some, it's kind of like a field of, there's a corn or something like this, tall. I think, yeah, corn. And it's just going to, from the coming back from some open market or something because your mother is carrying some basket with some, looks like vegetables. And you're more connected with the dog than with your mother, your older brother, who also makes fun of you, and you don't really see the world the same way.
Yeah.
And your mother, she's it's like she's in dissociation, in denial, and more like dissociated with her own self. She doesn't view herself as a mother. She's more like a sergeant, somebody who commands and arranges and organizes things.
Is that present day?
No, 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 no. This is, I can tell
This
you
is
what year
just
it is. It's 1928, Tennessee. Kind of like old looking clothes and everything. Um, a rural area there. I see some kind of like woods or park, whatever that is, and I see houses. And it's just kind of rather small community nearby, nearby Nashville, somewhere there, by a couple hours from it. But it's like in the middle, it looks like in the middle of nowhere, really. And, but the thing you do, you come out and look at the stars every night, and you're like, you're thinking, you're reading a book about northern lights, and you would like to go to just to see them, like with your own eyes. And you fantasize about space and stars and how does it all work? Like why is it life so strange, simple, but yet complicated in terms of emotions and connection? You don't really feel the connection to your family, that's the thing. You feel more connection to coyotes, wolves, squirrels, other animals, but not really your family. Because your father shows up, it's like he's tired. He works at some factory. Comes to me like a steel factory, something like this, like a hard job, and he just collapses. But when he's awake, he's rather angry because it's like he feels like he never gets time for himself, never gets to enjoy life, and everything he has to do is to provide for the family. And mother's there is like he's it's almost like he's afraid of the mother also, like all of you are. But she's also changing personalities in a way, so you never know what to expect from her. But that seems to be the life that affected you, because later on, um, because you didn't have much, and later on, you managed to figure out how to work for. I see you working in like in the it's almost like a negotiator or a contract signing kind of person. A lot of like talking involved and things like that in between the farmers, local farmers, and some companies that buy and take it, bring the whatever they grow on the farm to the shops and to the towns and cities. And you have a wife, Lucy, you call her. That looks like she's gonna have a baby soon. But then I get to the moment when something happens. I think there's some condition or something. It just heart condition. You don't really know at that point, but you lose that baby girl at 4 months old. And your life is like you had like a lot of plans to buy big house, things like that. But it's like everything crashes down around you. Like literally, you feel like you're stuck in a black hole of kind of sadness, not understanding, and you were dreaming about beautiful life, but you didn't get it. And on top of that, you split with that girl Lucy because she couldn't take it, you couldn't take it, and you were fighting over it, like blaming um the death of your little girl on each other. Here's the thing. You always have a strange feeling that somebody is like either watching over you or trying to um, order you around to control your life. Therefore, you need to be in charge and you need to lead in every aspect. Because what I'm seeing, how you got to Earth, it was not you were forced basically, but you obeyed because you got stuck in a situation when they basically brought you to some Saturn room. There's a room on Saturn where they got your. So I see you like as a tall alien with light skin, with blue eyes, more like crystal structure eyes, and I just see blue light going through. I don't see pupils or anything. Um, some suit looks like white translucent suit that looks like a second skin, very tight. I see you going to from. It's like you're going across the you're zooming from the sun portal. You're trying to get into some wormhole to go to the, it looks like Uranus, because on Uranus, you had to take, I know what you had to take. That looks like big, round shaped, translucent, transparent, translucent, to describe this kind of like shape crystals. They're like brown with some dots of blackness. And you had to take them to bring them to deliver them to some place, to some location in the other universe. But you go through the sun portal all the time. There's something about that you are the one who takes samples of different rocks and crystals, um, of different planets here, the one that are physical ones, and you bring them to some laboratory where they do analysis on them and see how they got disconnected from their essence, how the essence died inside of them, how the consciousness died inside of them, and what was done, how it happened, and how to undo the process. Because they're also, they can change shape, they can mold, they can become liquid, they can go back, and they're good building material for your universe there, where you bring it there, but they have to decontaminate it from the black dots of black goo, which you're trying to figure out how to take out of a lot of substances on Earth. And I'm seeing like it's almost like there's a yellow sun. It's like bright, like it's a label. It's a label. It's like a square. On the corner right is like a half, like a side of the sun, and then looks like a spaceship that is opened. I don't know. It's like two round parts, and they're like open, and it goes that direction. And there's just like portals. There's like a portal system, which looks like a tunnel. I don't know. There's some sort of sign or something that you have of that particular lab, because everybody has this kind of symbology on them, and they all like in suits, and it's like an interesting floating lab in that universe, because it's like a water-based planet that you go to, and they have flotation labs, which look like, if you take a round, like a ball, and then you flatten it a little bit on the side, it kind of like looks like it, but it's like absolutely transparent. So and it takes, and the atmosphere changes colors there, and the glass, whatever it is, material made of, it changes color too. And changes vibration. You kind of like adapt yourself. um it's like a chameleon planet or something. I don't know what it is. So they just, I see like a wormhole opens right in front of you out of the blue, like you're literally going for the portal, which is the same purple color like I see your energy sphere, bright purple. And then I see right before it, the wormhole opens and you got sucked into the Saturn room. And I see like a lot of, it's like lines of alien beings in the, I've seen this room before. It's almost like they use the straps to suck in, literally. It's like a suction thingy. Uh, Boom, and you are there. And they set the traps right before the portals that they see other alien species or beings use all the time. So they strategically set it up there, like AI mechanism system. And you're just like looking around, and you don't understand. You just totally not understanding what happened, because what happened to your spaceship, it dissipated. It's just a molecular destruction happened, something, because I don't see your ship anymore after you went through it. And they're just distributing basically. Yeah, I've seen this before, the same exact room. So they classify. They basically, what they do, they take out, they take you to the lab one by one. They take the DNA, scan. It's just a scanner that, it's like a big round ring, kind of thick white, and they tell you to walk through it and just scans your DNA, the parameters of your DNA. Uh, it goes right into the system. You see it on the big screen. And I see a reptilian hybrid which has 68% of human in him, looks and at the glass pad and kind of puts with the finger into category. He has like a table with categories of souls, energy bodies that they're ready to. It's kind of like they strip the your your energy body, which can also, like I said, it can change the vibration. They keep it at certain vibration level at some certain tube, the big tube, and they connect, and they leave the most of your soul, 75% in it. 25% of your soul is being incarnated on Earth, and you got 117 incarnations already prepared for you. Um, I feel like it's like a program for this amount. They kind of figure on what they're going to use you for, and then program you for the 25% in a way. Imagine it's like spreads, it's like one thick thread spreads into thinner threads and incarnates in those 117 lives at the same time. That's the only way I can explain, because um, they need information, and they need information for their AI system based on how we live our lives, our decisions, the based on the stimuli from outside, from inside of the families, from people we know, from all these different various setup situations that they are already programmed into each life as a program. So it's like a hard disk of lives inserted, and you're kind of running them at the same time, and it's already like as if it already happened, but you're stuck in this endless cycle of this happening forever. Um, but I see that they put you from the very beginning of your life, in each life. It kind of starts up with a rather some situation, particular situation that is supposed to stimulate your thought process in a certain way, bother you or irritate you or something like this. Um, some of the lives they let you follow the natural course, and they would not interfere until the hormone production, when you go into this, let's say from 12 to 20, they really study that period. And they just need these energies for, in your case, you're supporting the Saturn. the technology involved into Saturn energetic projection and insertion of thoughts into the layer of this um, mutual common area of the human consciousness that a lot of people are still plugged into. And also they can visually they figure out how through the visual receptors that you have in your eyes that look like mini binoculars, they can figure out what can stimulate your brain, because there's like it's like a transparent kind of looking thingy inside your head, and it flips in and out, in and out. When you get control over it, then it flips out and you connect to yourself through space, through everything. And then they catch the moments when, usually when you are asleep and consciously not aware, that they would flip it down and they would try to program for the next day the thought process in the situations that you know ahead of time you would be in. That's some type of a research for the new creations, for the new artificial realities that they're creating, and they're trying to figure out what what kind of technology would be best to influence. Is it from inside or from outside? That would kind of split the connection, soul and the conscious mind connection that they're trying to do. But what is concerning you deep down, you know that they've polluted the water, the ground, all the elements with that black hole. Also, because you actually, it's almost like you're a specialist in the vibrational frequencies of different in what you've been doing there. Um, you're just taking samples of whatever. I at this point at in this particular point, you were taking samples of those rocks, the crystals. But in other instances, it's like samples of the ground, sand, plants, or whatever that is that you need from other planets, because that's the way you sometimes can help them improve or see what's going on. But it's mostly for research, how to improve the quality of life type thing, how to make the atmosphere cleaner, um, how to connect this particular density to the other one, so the beings have easier transition when they need to. It's kind of like it's all about the cycles of lives that you have to get on, then to go up to the second level of density in a way by getting the certain experience, and you're studying how you can speed up the experience of every single living being that has consciousness in it. Uh, but yeah, those 117 lives is just kind of what your soul says. It's like a waste, because you really were not given opportunity to deep down explore yourself, your own self, and get to the bottom of how you really got here, what happened there, because you learned through experience that there's a lot of deception, there's a lot of things that are there's traps. Um, And it's like subconsciously you would like to tell people how they set up traps, how they catch beings, how they disobey the laws of the universe that way. Because what they use is they use the vibrational frequency mechanism. They, in a way, do it unexpectedly. And when you do it unexpectedly, the being's vibration frequency drops. When it drops, you can do anything with that being. It just takes a split second to grab and snatch and put somewhere else. But I'm looking at this. So there's a lot of those hybrids who are watching you. There's one in that lab, and I see lots of tubes. They go in the rows, 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 rows in a long corridor of all those beings on Saturn. Um, I see there is those rings of Saturn. I see the outer part has a lot of technology, and that technology and your energy body is connected to that technology. It's like microwaves that you know how they like go together and they merge and create like one big ray that is connected to Earth. And then it kind of like it puts a projection of certain frequencies around it in a way. So basically what I'm saying that they take up to 55, 57% of your energy from those 75% that you got in that other, in your original energy body on Saturn, kept in a capsule, to the technology to power it up. And there's hundreds of beings that are stuck in that lab, giving energy to power up the technologies. And there is on the other rings inner, um, they're like different military bases when they train. It's hard to explain because it's actually energetic, but it can become solid also because the way we see things is not the way it is. It kind of looks like little dots, but then I get closer, it looks like a little building. When I get inside, it looks like a huge hangar. So that's how our perception is like twisted. Mm, so so basically there are five of those reptilian hybrids that come and go. They take some parameters off of you. They let you go when you're in a very high vibration, but then they come when you're asleep or in low vibration, or you're just tired, or have a cold, or things like that. They catch those moments. But there's something, it's like embedded into your, that's why they did it. It's almost like they covered your energy sphere with some translucent purplish kind of material. It kind of feels funny, sticky thingy when I touch, and then they attach like a long kind of rectangular device. There's like three long buttons. I think they go up and down. It's like a switch. Switch. It's was that thing flipping in your head. That's how they switch it back and forth. It's like we need to record some of her thoughts or in this situation, but we don't need another. So they would do that. You take it out, and then you take out this little. It almost looks like little lenses, but they're kind of like 3D type. They can get bigger and smaller. Um, in your eyes, That's how they observe the reality you are in through your eyes. And they can also like send holographic images through those things. So basically, if you're like looking in the dark or falling asleep, looking around, or sleeping at night, they would like project the whole hologram right before you or right inside you. So it's either a dream or a vision that you can have, whatever they want. But it's usually done for stimulating certain impulses, certain mental activity, usually. So you took those out, the two little ones, the tiny. It's from behind the eyes and on top there. It's like a transparent plastic thingy. That's how it looks. It's got the cord though in the back. It goes through the back of the head and it kind of locks into the kind of neck. Um, might have, because it drains your energy, it can cause all kinds of like, because the energy doesn't really go through the head as fluently as should be. Plus, you have some sort of there's a like energy thingies on the back. So they go kind of under your armpits, one, then lower one the solar plexus, three, and then kind of like in between stomach and the uterus, like four. And those are to keep you inside the body because you always want to get out and explore and figure out how to get yourself out of that situation on Saturn from that lab. And they want to keep you in instead. So there's always like this internal fight going on. Oh, you better let me in. But the physical part is just trying to smooth it out with being calm and doing some things to calm yourself. It's like meditative, whatever states or whatever the subconscious is trying to put you into, but you're not really present. It's like with your mind, you're floating somewhere, trying to figure out the system and how it works, and the unseen behind the scenes, the mechanics of it. But right now, I see you took off those four. They kind of look like metallic half circle thingies. You took them out to put them down. There's something on the feet, but on both sides. It's something that they sometimes clip cords onto, or right now I don't see them, but there are two yellow cords sometimes they would put onto to also drain energy through. I mean, they actually, what they do, they sometimes drain energy through the head, but other times you wouldn't let them. You literally wouldn't let them. So they would do it through the feet. So they click and unclick all the time. How they do it? Um, yeah, that I don't really see that the chakras that I usually see that dissecting the body, the energy bodies. In you, it's almost like they removed them themselves for their research because they needed the other clippers there for the energy circulating, in particular four kind of areas, uh, excluding the head and the bottom part. So just throw them out in the portal. You ask for the contract, and this reptilian being to explain how it looks. It looks like a human, but the teeth are reptilian, and the eyes from black they turn to red. Looks like a dark hair, white skin, uh, guy, yeah, male. But then the other ones kind of look similar to that. I don't see women at that lab. I only see men. And yeah, women they don't do that. It's not their job. They classified into different. I think they just like do what they're supposed to do based on gender or something like this. Um, so he brings you the whole pad. It looks like a glass iPad, and you're looking inside, and you're just starting to move things out, and there's like crisscrosses on the upper right, and you just click on them as if you were removing different research on you. And also the connection to the other lives that you have. And you have these three clones, but they hooked up to the other lives. Right? I feel like life 17, 18, and 19, like in the beginning, that's when they created three clones. But because they also wanted to see different timelines in one life, because those were interesting for them. And I feel like in those timelines you were like a researcher, but it was about, it's like biology, molecular biology, something like this. Structural substances of different. It was related to those stones, to those rocks you were attracted in those lives, because it seems like in each life, different experience pops up for you, and different interest shows up based on your DNA, which is 68, and you're going like 69. You're adding some orange strands to the DNA, and you're saying this is for protection, so they wouldn't be able to mutate it with any substances that they put in everything these days. So you ended up with 72. Okay, they mutated it a little, but I see only like 2.89% with those reptilian humanoid form, because they wanted to. It was they hooked this research to another research, and it was gonna be starting in 2025. Something different, because I feel like they're gonna be they're gonna they're about to start working with somebody else. Mm, not the Mantis anymore. I feel like Mantis are gonna leave and somebody else is gonna take over. More like Grays. You just said that there's an invasion of Grays everywhere in this universe. Um, and then the hybrid forms of them that are against humanity, basically. When you change that, you you just shattered the iPad. Just put your hand over it and burned it with. It's almost like sparks going from your hand, and it got broken as if you broke glass. And you put it all together with implants and everything in the portal. You tell them to go to the portal too, the living. And now you're pulling in the bathtub. You created it. It's a large one, and you're just saying that it's filled up with salt water, and you're gonna cleanse yourself from all this toxicity, including the toxic people and everything that um, been affecting you in those lives, and like a whale of, like you show me like a gray whale, which also represents all these invasion forces that came here. Um, and like it looks like a hurricane with lots of wind and created by technology, and gray and black particles infused that got infused into surfaces of planets that made the inside the very essence of each planet go into some sort of stasis or shock for a long while, and now they're all waking up. You gave the information to all those to that facility with those alien beings on Saturn also, and you unplugged yourself, your body. You just put it back. You destroyed the wormhole that showed up in front of the purple portal in that timeline, and then you didn't even go through it. You just turned around, went back to through the sun. Stargate, the portals, and it's like all portals connect into a huge, like a Stargate system of the sun. That's what you use. Yeah, you're clean. You can ask questions if you want.
Um, when you said the whale, so when I recently went to this retreat, an animal spirit came to me, and it was a gray back whale. So that was
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. I don't know what that means, but and then I had a vision, and you mentioned vision and the straps that are around me. I had a vision last week about Shannon, and she
Mm-hmm.
went down into this crater. It could have been a portal. I don't even know. It was a dark crater, and she was falling backwards. And then she had metal straps crisscrossing her.
Looks like a
That's
black hole that they sucked her in when she got out of her body. Which the black hole I see on white, I see a white hole connected to the black hole by. She thought
yeah, she was all
it
white.
was right. It was
She
like an
was all
illusion that she was gonna go into white, but she actually got reversed. Like they and she was sucked into the black one instead. What they did, they artificially created the system because originally we had. It feels like we had white holes. It feels like we have this portal system perfectly designed for us to for our transportation and movements throughout universe, no problem. But then they it's almost as if they covered part of it with the black goo and turned it into black hole. So that's how you create the negative and positive, the duality aspect to it. And now we're undoing that. And the reason why, because she's trying to do what you're trying to do, to do the to figure out the mechanisms and turn them off. Whatever it is that controlling the matrix system and the people all together, we're all trying to figure out and disbalance it, turn it off, things like that. I saw like she's flying out of her body, and she was in this kind of a relaxing state when she's falling asleep. And that's when it happened because she didn't give herself the certain destination kind of route type thing, like she didn't have an intention where she wanted to go. So she was just wandering around, and when you wander around, this kind of stuff happens. The belts, I know what you mean by that, because those are the layers. They manifest as kind of like straps that hold you down because you still have the physical body and you're
Yeah.
attached to it. But those actually the energies that hold you unless until your physical body dies. So.
So I had 117 lives.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it's like a disk, like a programs files that you eliminated, erased, deleted from that glass iPad that you took from that reptilian hybrid who showed up in front of you. It's yeah, he looks like this perfect human being with evil eyes and perfectly white skin of with dark hair. He gave it to you. He was in a lab coat.
He he gave me my profile.
Yeah, yeah, all the information that was so basically was he would put it on the iPad and would show up on the screen. And then I would see like different parts of your body on the screen also. I think they were just like sending impulses through the head, through that implant on the head, and through the visual. They were into showing you visuals and seeing how your neural connections and how neurons act and the mental process connected to that, how you would react. So they would always put some um, things to do for you that they're interested in for you in going through them through certain experiences that are they're testing out on people how those experiences involve them figuring out how to interfere into the things that humans use for relaxations, for relaxation, for feeling better, for feeling high vibration, how they can um, infiltrate those too with technology or with some, you know.
In my time on Earth, you mentioned my mother,
Hmm.
and then I was a male.
Yeah, you're a little boy with the older brother, but totally
Oh,
disconnected from the family. Your best friend was a dog.
yes.
Looks like a golden retriever or something like this.
I'm really close to my dog now. I feel like he's been with me before.
It looks, yeah, you just mentioned that, and that's the dog from that life.
No way. I'm so
Yeah,
close to him. Oh
yeah,
gosh, that's so nice to know. He's such a good boy.
because that's why your subconscious started showing me this life right away. Because of that, there's a connection to it.
Yeah. So so I'm gonna have to go through this conversation again and re-listen to it. But where do I go from here?
Where you go from here is you'll probably end up going back. See, what comes to me that you have a destination map when you come to this universe, and it's built into your suit. It truly is like some panel in your suit right here where the solar plexus is, and you see it. You see like a screen in front of you. It's kind of like projector projects, and you look at the map and you know where to go. That's how you function. The suit is for that. And you were going to get certain samples. That's what I see you do. Like you would put them in certain containers, like those round balls. You would take and then we would go back to your planet. Your water planet was those floating laboratories. Um, you're all about research and information. That's what I feel about your soul. Your career is about improvement overall in lives and in appearances of plants, animals. Um, you watch the natural mutation of them with other animals that show up on the planet also because they're created by others, and see how the process goes, whether it has to be monitored and maybe they should be helped out. But it's basically what you do. You don't like technically do anything. You energetically, you have this interesting, it's kind of looks like a winter garden type thing, and it floats in the atmosphere, and you can each one has certain frequency. And if you take, like, let's say a plant or an animal or some other being, or I mean it can be an insect looking thingy or energy, kind of like a blob of energy, if it has low vibration, you can higher, make the vibration higher, so it could transform into something more positive and it will produce, divide itself, produce something more positive. It's almost like was the mentality that is more positive. I don't know how to explain it, but
That
it's
sounds
got.
like me. I try to always change something into positive. I have to turn it into positive. Just
Hmm.
how I feel.
Right. Yeah, that's very interesting planet. Everything's basically kind of floating everywhere. In terms of density, it is very
Well, I love
fascinating.
water. Water is I feel my calmest when I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the water.
Yeah. Well, that's why you based yourself on the bathtub and your energy sphere to cleanse your energy bodies too. Yeah, and you resonate with it because that's totally a water planet. I mean, everything is water. And the reason why the laboratories float above the water surface is because you don't want to distract or disturb the life in the water. There are literally, it's kind of like beings, fish, all kinds of different, even water dragons are there living. So it's like ecosystem. An ecosystem should not be disturbed because you're
Yes.
high consciousness, Because I see it's like nines, 11s density kind of planet. So,
Wow, that's really interesting. It sounds beautiful.
hmm, yeah, it looks very much like I would want to be there myself.
Yes. Since I haven't done this before, is there anything else I should ask?
No, it depends on you. If you have any questions, or if not,
I have to go through my notes. I don't have oh my gosh, isn't that research? I have to
oh yeah, yeah, you're about that for sure.
I have to
It's
go through my notes and I have to reread, rewatch this, and then I have to figure out my questions because I have to do my research.
okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That sounds just like me.
Yeah. Well, I can turn off the recording if you want. Um,
Yeah, I think we're done.